say life has been busy here at our mountain homestead would be a bit of an understatement.
Does that cool water feel good?
Yeah.
Of all the summers we've had here, I think this summer might be our most slammed summer. Between farm animal fun, including our new baby goats, our annual chicken butchering, which took 4 weekends, beach days, summer fun, the garden, and now preparing for back to school. I've really been feeling my age, so age is what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share some relatable experiences while I do some homemaking, including making some birthday tiramisu. I'm also doing a dining room makeover.
I need help.
That I'm completely crazy about. And while I do these things in this video, I thought we would talk about what it really feels like to age physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I'd like to share my personal journey, how trauma made me feel like I missed my youth, and the hope that I found in God's promises, surprising science, and a book that's helping me see things differently. So if you're feeling the shift of aging and wondering where the old you went, this one is for you. Let's talk about aging gratefully and midlife. And by the way, I do have a special, really important message for the youth. If you're in your 20s and 30s, I hope you will stick around to hear the important encouragement that'll help you avoid regrets. If you've ever looked in the mirror and wondered, why does everything seem to be falling apart at once? It turns out you might not be imagining it. A recent Stanford medicine study published in Nature Aging found that the body doesn't age in a slow, steady curve. Instead, researchers discovered that we go through 2 major periods of dramatic biological change, first in our 40s and again in our 60s. They studied thousands of molecules in biomes from adults aged 25 to 75. What they found? These changes were not gradual. They were sharp. We're not just changing gradually over time. There are some really dramatic changes, said Dr. Michael Snyder, professor of genetics at Stanford. He went on to say the mid-40s is a time of dramatic change, as is the early 60s. And that's true no matter what class of molecules you look at, unquote. In other words, if you're in your 40s or 60s and it feels like everything in your body is shifting, it is. The changes we experience aren't just in our heads, they're happening at the deepest molecular level. Personally, I wasn't ready. I truly was not prepared for what it would feel like to age. I never imagined how quickly change would come. One day I looked like me, the version I'd known all my adult life, and suddenly it felt like the rug had been pulled out from under me. My face changed, my body changed, pain showed up and stayed. I had to start buying new clothes, not because I wanted a fresh, new, fun style, but because my body no longer fit the old ones. But perhaps the 2 most frustrating aspects of all were losing the ability to think as quickly and multitask as before, and move as quickly, which I think is the biggest reason this summer feels so slammed. I can't do it all like I used to. Speaking of aging, one of the things that broke a little piece of my heart that has come with getting older was once perimenopause hit, my hair stopped growing, started thinning, and became dull and dry, as did my skin, which, that brings me to today's sponsor, Mary Ruth's Organics.
In my 20s and 30s, I could get by without supplements. But now, as I get closer to 50, I've realized that just isn't sustainable anymore. My body needs more intentional, high-quality support. Before marriage and motherhood, I worked in the health industry, and even on and off afterward for a little while, so I've seen and tried a lot of wellness products over the years. That is why I'm genuinely excited to share that I've partnered with Mary Ruth's Organics, and I'm transitioning to several of their incredible supplements.
One of the products I'm most impressed by is their liquid morning multivitamin and hair growth, which includes Lestriva, a clinically proven ingredient that supports hair and skin health. Here's why it stands out. This multivitamin is designed not only to support your daily wellness, but also to help improve hair growth and skin appearance.
Lestrivia is clinically shown to promote thicker, fuller hair in women in as little as 3 weeks. I'm very excited about that.
It also supports skin health by improving texture and reducing the appearance of wrinkles and fine lines. The formula includes all 8 essential B vitamins, with 10,000 micrograms of magnesium biotinate, a highly soluble form of biotin, along with bioavailable folate as calcium L5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. I hope I said that correctly. My daughter and I both are especially excited about the women's multivitamin and hair growth, liposomal, and this liquid multivitamin plus hair growth. She too struggled with hair growth for years, and I've dealt with it over a decade myself, so we're both hopeful and encouraged to give these a real try. We'll keep you updated on how it goes, so stay tuned.
For a limited time only right now, you can use my exclusive 30% off code on Mary Ruth's site and stock up on your wellness essentials before they're gone. I did want to give you guys an idea of where I'm starting at with my hair. So my hair is very curly. It's kind of hard to tell how long it is because of how curly it is. It seems like every time it grows too, it gets curlier as well. But right now it's about to right here. So I'll show you from the back where we're starting so you get a very good idea.
Aging came like a wave that I didn't see coming, and it has been hard. If I'm being honest, sometimes I feel like I never really had much of a youth, not the way others did. There were years marked by trauma, stress, and survival. For a long time, it felt like trauma and drama were stealing all of my youth. And now, watching my body change again, this time from age, felt like insult on top of injury. I've cried out to the Lord, grieving the time I never really got to enjoy, and the speed at which it all seemed to be slipping away. And then one day, this verse came to mind. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. It stopped me in my tracks. That God knows about the years that are devoured. He does not dismiss them. He sees the losses and he makes a promise, not just to comfort, but to restore. That maybe doesn't mean we get back the physical youth that we lost, but it does mean he can bring beauty from those broken years and fruit from seasons that we thought were stolen. That verse, it doesn't erase my grief, but it does give me hope. God has not forgotten the hard years where joy and youth were stolen, and He's not finished writing a redemptive story. I know next to nothing about Carl Jung, but I did recently come across a quote by him that I really appreciated. He once said, "Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you're just doing research." I love that. The quote reminds me of Joel 2:25. Since I have been feeling deeply the loss of my youth and mourning its death, and as I've been so preoccupied with feeling absolutely lost at times, I realized after reading that quote that this isn't the end. Yeah, I am very likely over halfway through my life, but this is the beginning of something new, a new phase. Youth is filled with becoming, trying, striving, perfecting, performing, adapting. But 40, especially for women who are going through perimenopause, this is when you simply lose the ability to care about all that anymore. Perhaps instead of being the end, it's a truer beginning. In the world's eyes, youth is currency. It gets the attention, the opportunities, the affirmation. And I've felt the shift, that quiet turning away, where you're no longer the one looked to, but looked past. But the truth is, I've been preaching to myself that I might not feel beautiful by the world's standards, but I am being made beautiful in God's eyes. 1 Samuel 16:7 reads, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." It's okay to grieve the body that you used to have, the energy that used to come naturally, the babies that you didn't get to hold, and the youth that disappeared without warning. That grief is real, and God can handle it. But I'm also learning that grief and gratitude can actually sit side by side. I am thankful for the body that's still carrying me, for the battle wounds, for the eyes that have seen so many milestones, for the lines that came from late night working and talks, belly laughs, and yes, even the hard tears. Aging, as we all know, is not a gift that everyone receives. Isaiah 46:4 reads, "Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am he who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you." Proverbs 16:31, "Gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained in a righteous life." These verses are not just nice sayings, they are the truth. God isn't surprised by this new season. He is not alarmed by our loosening skin, slower pace, or aching joints. He walks with us in it. Recently, I started reading a book that's helping me reframe some of my feelings about this season. It's called Aging Gratefully by Heather Creekmore, and it's exactly what the title suggests. An invitation to see aging not as a burden, but as an opportunity to give thanks. Heather gently challenges the way our culture talks about aging, always trying to fight back with more products, more procedures, more effort. She reminds us that the Bible speaks of age as a blessing, something to be received, not resisted. The book is made up of 30 short devotionals filled with humor, practical hope, and honest prayers. If you're walking this road to the strange, slow letting go of your younger self, I highly recommend it, not just as a feel-better book, but as a companion in the journey. To age gratefully means that instead of fighting every change, we receive them with humility. It means we thank God for the years He's given and ask Him how to live and live well the ones we have left with peace and purpose. It means we stop demanding that the body stays in its 20s or 30s and start asking the Lord to make our hearts more like His. It means that instead of spending all of our time and energy trying to look younger, as well as our money, that we invest in becoming wiser, kinder, gentler, the kind of women others can look up to and trust. 2 Corinthians 4:16, "Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day." Nobody ever told me how addictive wallpaper is. I think I'm in trouble.
Years ago, when I was in my 20s, I heard the statement that a woman who changes her house around a lot, it means she's not happy with her life. Did I get a big enough eye roll there? No, that's not how it works. The woman who is happy with her home is the one who mixes it up. So a budget-friendly tip for if you like to change your home up a lot, that can be expensive, but a very budget-friendly way that I have found to do that, have bins that you switch things out with. So in other words, instead of getting rid of things when you think that you are tired of it, just put it in a bin and keep a bin or two of collections of stuff that you really love, but maybe don't have room for at the time. Now this is like the opposite of minimalism, I know. And it's not for people that, have a very small amount of space they're working. Actually, it is. I did this when I had a very, very small home and very limited space in the home to decorate. So what I would do is I did do this. I had bins with things in them, and I would just swap things out. And it helps so much to freshen spaces up and keep things lively and interesting.
If you are in your 20s or 30s, please let me tell you something from the heart. Enjoy where you are, not out of fear that it won't last, but out of wisdom that it won't. If something or someone is robbing you of your peace and joy, take it to the Lord and ask Him to remove it from your life. And be brave enough to cast it off and get rid of it. Please don't let stress and toxic environments age you prematurely. Don't let chaos live in your home, in your mind, or in your spirit. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. And like it says in 1 Timothy 4:12, do not let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example. But at the same time, don't feel like you have to know more or be more than you are. You don't have to have all the answers. You're allowed to grow at your own pace. You're allowed to be human. You don't have to prove your worth. God's already established it. Hug your babies every day. You don't have to enjoy every moment. That is unrealistic and unkind to tell you to do. But make some moments every day to enjoy. Fight for those moments. The enemy, he will throw all the weight of hell at you to distract, divide, and discourage you and stop you from seeing the roses. He will try to make you focus on nothing but the thorns. But listen, love is stronger. Love will lead the way. I'm not saying this from the other side of the struggle. I'm still deep in it. I still have days where I cry about the clothes that don't fit and the moments when I miss the way I used to look. But I'm also beginning to see something deeper. God is not finished with me yet. There's still beauty here. There's still value here. There is still purpose here. Aging gratefully doesn't mean pretending it's easy. It means choosing gratitude in spite of the hard. It means trusting that God isn't counting the years I've lost. He's preparing me for the years I have left to reflect Him more fully. So if you are like me, starting down the changes and wondering what happened so fast, know this: you're not alone, you're not less, and you're not past your prime. God is still writing your story, and He is not done.
On a breeze, I got no enemies. I just do what I please. Yes, sir. I ain't got no things, no money, no means. Just a wind in the wings. Yes, sir. I got my feet on a cloud and I won't come down. Used to bounce on knees, fresh from the oven, chubby and carefree. I had a mind at ease. Now I oversee the trees.
Before I go, I want to tell you about a video I just finished over at my other channel, Mountain Mama's Home Kitchen. While browsing one of my favorite antique shops, I stumbled on something unexpected. A shelf full of pristine White House cookbooks. I could not resist bringing one home. These cookbooks were originally created to bring the elegance of presidential kitchens to everyday homes, offering not just recipes, but menus, etiquette, and homemaking tips from the 19th and 20th centuries. In my newest video, I am cooking 2 simple recipes from the 1930s edition: fried eggplant and buttered cabbage. Frugal, flavorful, and full of quiet vintage charm, perfect for summertime. Join me as we step back in time and rediscover the beauty of humble, nourishing meals.